Call to order the Public Improvement Commission, Thursday, July 9, 2015. Public hearing item continued number 1 on a petition by SCD 1350 Boylston Street LLC for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Boston proper, consisting of curb realignment, sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, specialty pavement, street lights, street trees, street furniture, electrical conduit, drainage infrastructure, irrigation infrastructure, and driveway curb cuts. New business, May 14, 2015. Public hearing, June 11, 2015. Public hearing continued, June 25, 2015. Boylston Street on its southerly side, generally east of Kilmarnock Street. Kilmarnock Street on its easterly side, generally south of Boylston Street, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Specific Repairs Plan, 1350 Boylston Street, Kilmarnock Street, Boston proper, 3 sheets, dated April 29, 2015. Morning, Mark.
Good morning, Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioners. Mark McGowan with Skanska Commercial Development. This morning, we'd just like to respectfully request to continue to 2 weeks. I think that the date is the 23rd, just to allow for scheduling, just to have another staff meeting, just to identify the best place for this curb. So respectfully request that, and look forward to seeing you in a few weeks with a resolution.
Understood. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition by SCD.
Continue.
To continue.
Let me read it, will you? 1350 Boylston Street, to continue the public hearing, today's public hearing regarding Boylston Street, Kilmarnock Street, to July 23rd, 2015.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you, Mark. Public hearing item number 2 continued on a petition by Bartlett Place Land Incorporated for the approval of the line and grade of Bartlett Station Drive, Public Way, Roxbury, between Washington Street and Bartlett Street. New business, May 28, 2015. Public hearing, June 25, 2015, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, line and grade, Bartlett Station Drive, Public Way, Roxbury, 3 sheets, dated May 20, 2015. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is David Linhart. I'm with Goulston Stores. I'm also here with Mark Mattel, with the proponent for Bartlett Place, and Ahmad Zareen, our engineer and consultant, who brought some visuals so we can look at the improvements. We're here for 4 petitions. The first is for line and grade, and we came for a new business a few weeks ago and received some feedback to work on between then and now. We also continued to be able to complete that work. So an update on some of those comments we received is that there was some interest in how circulation would work with respect to the school and where the buses would queue, and that's been worked out with Pat Hoey. We have a circulation plan that that's been advanced, and you know, we also were asked to look into signage and striping, and those plans are being advanced as part of the TAPA, and we'll continue to work with that, work with BTD to move that forward. And there was interest in how traffic would work, and we've submitted a draft traffic management plan that shows how traffic will work during construction period. Another update is that as far as a maintenance agreement for some of the work that's being completed with the line and grade and with some of our other petitions, everything is being done to city standard, and including confirming with BWSC as recently as yesterday that our plans are all the work is being done to city standard. And so our understanding is that there will not be a maintenance agreement, that the improvements will be inspected and subject to acceptance by the city. They will be maintained by the city. Ahmad is able to graphically show some of the improvements if we need an update in that way.
Great. Thank you.
Give you an overview like we did last time.
Great.
Basically, the new road starts at Washington Street. It's approximately a little under 750 feet in length. It's 60 feet wide, 24-foot travel lanes both direction with 7-foot parking on either side, and 11-foot sidewalk on both sides. And it terminates, as you see in the plan, on Bartlett Street. Like David mentioned, all the design is according to city standards as far as pavement, sidewalks, curbing, street lights, as well as street trees. And then, we'll be working with BTD to further develop the striping and signage plan.
No, that's they've been working with Patrick Hoey and some of my staff relative to the signage, striping, school zone issue stuff. So I appreciate that coordination. Additionally, they dropped off the construction management plan that staff is currently reviewing also. So I appreciate the follow-up. Yeah.
Evening. Just an administrative comment on today's notice. It says public hearing on June 25th. So it's wrong. So
Yes,
just
they're all
the
the 11th.
Okay.
Yep.
Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the petition by Bartlett Place Land Inc. for the approval of the line and grade of Bartlett Station Drive, Public Way, Roxbury, between Washington Street and Bartlett Street, and as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, line and grade, Bartlett Station Drive, Public Way, Roxbury, 3 sheets dated May 20th, 2015.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So moved. Public hearing item, continued item number 3 on a petition by Bartlett Place Land Incorporated for the widening and relocation of the existing right-of-way lines of Washington Street, Public Way, Roxbury, located on its northwesterly side between Bartlett Street and Guild Street. New business, May 28, 2015. Public hearing, June 25, 2015, June 11, 2015. As shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Widening and Relocation, Washington Street, Public Way, Roxbury, 1 sheet, dated May 20, 2015. Good morning again.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is David Linhart with Coulson Stores. On behalf of Bartlett Place, Mark Mattel is here with the proponent, and Ahmad Zareen, our engineer. And this petition is for widening of Bartlett Street, and Ahmad is able to show what that improvement looks like.
Again, this petition is to allow for the widening. The widening is to allow for parking on Washington Street, parallel parking, as well as a wider sidewalk, which varies in width between 11 and 13 feet wide. Eventually, what we're proposing along the street frontage is mainly retail stores, so the sidewalk will come up right to the building. In the widening, we'll have to relocate light poles as well as remove some existing trees and install new trees. We've already gone through a tree hearing and got the approval for the trees as well.
So the only concern I have is how you are programming the curved edge, because I think your schematic over there, it seems like you are showing bump outs within the.
Right here,
Yes.
it's only at the end where the right-of-way actually on this side taper back. Initially, we did have bump outs within this area. We removed all the bump outs. We just left them at the end where the actual pavement width, as you leave the site from one end to the other, narrows back.
So maybe when does that come in front of the IC for that activity?
It's coming right now.
Oh, right.
Yes.
My apologies.
So the widening of Washington Street, is that on city-owned property or is that on your property?
It's on the proponent's property. Is that the question?
So does that get turned over to the city? It's on your property, so the widening of Washington Street.
We do it in whatever we hold Washington Street in. So if Washington Street is held in fee by the city, we ask for fee from the abutter. If Washington Street is held in easement by the abutter, then the property can stay in the fee interest of the abutter. We just want to keep Washington Street whole in whatever manner it is today.
I know we've had retaining wall issues out there in this area. We want to make sure that the property that we're going to widen into is not going to affect any of those retaining walls. And we don't want to take ownership of retaining walls and have to maintain them. Has anyone gone out there and looked at,
Retaining walls,
Yeah.
they're all gonna be demoed to make way for a new sidewalk. So the back sidewalk will be right at the new relocation line.
so the back of the sidewalk is going to be.
The proposed back sidewalk will be right at the
There
proposed
won't be
relocation.
any new walls in our right of way.
So the retaining walls are going to be the responsibility of the project.
Yes.
So we get a maintenance, we should get a maintenance agreement on it, no? Okay.
No, because it's just it's a cement concrete sidewalk in our portion with trees that have been accepted by the Parks Department as street trees. So we don't have anything to save for them to maintain.
I know, 20 years from now, when that wall's falling down, it's going to come to the city for repair.
Well, we can have a note on the plan that the wall behind the back of the sidewalk is owned by private property and just put it right on our plan.
Yeah, if we put it on it, and then, once because it's over the course of so many years, the property's going to get transferred, and the new one's going to say, I didn't buy that wall.
All right, so we'll put a
Let's
note.
put it on the drawing. Thank you.
Amy, sorry. This segment of Washington Street, is it in the south end? My apologies for not
It's
going.
not.
So where about is this?
Old Bartlett yard, our yard. This is it.
But that segment of Washington Street, is it considered a major arterial? Because this will come into the next petition. but,
It is.
It
Yes.
is, right? Okay, thank you.
Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition by Bartlett Place Land, Inc. for the widening and relocation of Washington Street in Roxbury, as described and read into the record by the chair, and as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, a widening and relocation plan for Washington Street, dated May 20th, 2015.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Public hearing item continued number 4 on a petition by Bartlett Place Land Incorporated for the widening and relocation of the existing right-of-way lines of Bartlett Street, Public Way, Roxbury, located on its southwesterly side, generally between Washington Street and Bonnell Terrace. New business, May 28th, 2015. Public hearing, June 11th, 2015, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Widening and Relocation, Bartlett Street, Public Way, Roxbury, one sheet dated May 20, 2015.
Good morning, Commissioners. David Lenhart with Goulston and Stores. I'm here with Mark Mattel, proponent for Bartlett Place, and Mazzarine, our engineering consultant. And we have 4 related petitions. This one and the prior petition are as to widening of Bartlett Street and Washington Street. And Ahmad is able to show what those improvements look like.
Currently, Bartlett Street has a sidewalk on our side. It's about 5 feet wide. Reason for this widening is to allow for a sidewalk as well as street trees to be installed on that side. Currently, there aren't any trees. So we're proposing a consistent 9.5-foot sidewalk with tree pits along the way. That's the reason for the proposed relocation of the right-of-way. And it's similar to Washington Street. The right-of-way will be taken off from the site and added to the actual right-of-way.
So again, this question is related to your next petition, but since you are proposing trees within this expanded sidewalk space, what is the net passageway that is there on the sidewalk? So sidewalk width minus the tree width, how many feet?
We have 4.5 feet minimum behind the sidewalk. Behind the tree pits.
behind the previous?
Minimum 4.5 feet.
We thought it was 5.
Or 5, yeah, I'm sorry, you're right. I mean, it is on the plan.
So basically, it needs to be widened to facilitate not minimum standard but desirable standards. So
Exactly.
5 foot is our minimum, so 4.5 would not be acceptable.
The sidewalk itself would be 9.5 feet. The pit's 4.5 by 4.5, I believe.
So that's 4. That's 4, not even 4.5. Because of 6-inch curb, 4.5-inch tree pit, it's 5 feet. You only have 9.
I'll have to check the plans, but
But if this commission
We'll
votes on
verify.
this, then it puts a strain on whether they can vote on the next petition because of the tree thing. So something needs to be
Absolutely.
adjusted. So you need to recognize the fact that if the commission votes on this, and if the next item becomes difficult, then you will have to either adjust your tree pits or give us a wider.
okay.
I'm fine, as long as there's no retaining wall, I'm fine if there are.
We're going to put the note for all 3 streets.
Okay, thank you.
No, we do have a section of the actual sidewalk on Bartlett on the plans. It shows up on the site-specific plans, sheet 4.
Do any members of the audience have any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the petition by Bartlett Place Land, Inc. for the widening relocation of existing right-of-way lines, Bartlett Street, is read into the record by the chair, and then shown on the plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, widening relocation, Bartlett Street, Public Way, Roxbury, one sheet dated May 20th, 2015, with the caveat that we have a 5-foot unobstructed walkway from the tree pit to back of sidewalk.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Public hearing item continued number 5 on a petition by Bartlett Place Land Incorporated for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Roxbury, consisting of curb realignment, sidewalk and roadway reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, street lights, street trees, drainage infrastructure, and driveway curb cuts. New business, 5/28/2015. Public hearing, June 11, 2015. Washington Street, on its northwesterly side between Bartlett Street and Guild Street. Bartlett Street on its southwesterly side, generally between Washington Street and Bonnell Terrace. Guild Street on its northeasterly side between Washington Street and Thornton Street, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Specific Repair Plan, Washington, Guild, and Bartlett Streets, Roxbury, 4 sheets dated May 20, 2015.
Good morning, David Linhart with Coulson and Stores, with Mark Mattel from the proponent for Bartlett Place, and Ahmad Zareen, our engineer. We're here for related petitions. The fourth is for specific repairs to Bartlett Station Drive and neighboring streets, and Ahmad can show some of those repairs.
Again, we're proposing on Washington Street is to relocate the existing curb line back 7 feet to allow for on-street parking. In doing so, we're going to be relocating light poles, installing new trees, new sidewalk. We're also reconstructing all the reciprocal handicap ramps that connect into this improvement, particularly across Bartlett and also on Guild. We're also adding a new crosswalk and a new ramp that crosses Washington to St. James to allow also pedestrian access from across the street into the site. Again, all the construction will be done to city standards.
With the new crosswalk across Washington Street, understanding that we're still going through the TAPA, have we done a warrant analysis, signal warrant analysis for that crosswalk?
We haven't done that.
That should be done.
Okay.
We're putting a crosswalk across the main arterial. There should be a signal warrant analysis undertaken for that.
You should take the crosswalk off your plans when you submit Mylar, and then if you work with BTD for an approved crosswalk, you can install it at that point.
Excuse me, sir. Who is your civil engineer on this project? Is that person here? Are you the civil engineer?
I'm the civil, and we have a traffic engineer as well.
So do you have a schematic of the specific repairs for Washington Street department? Do you have a board?
That's all we have for boards. I'm sorry about that.
So allow me to clarify. So we gave you a 60-foot right-of-way, but I believe there might be concerns about the way you are designing the sidewalks and the curvature. Your curvatures are absolutely not standard to public works standards. So if you have a schematic, I can show you. Amy, when I check about 90 degrees, there's no, it will be extremely difficult for someone to sweep, a street sweeper.
So the sweeper will have a difficult time
Because
making.
you got a 90 degree, how is someone going to sweep that?
At the
Right at the edges.
we could make that at 45.
So there are, it's not can be do 45, 60, there are standards which are to be used. Okay, so all your neck downs have not been designed correctly. So please work with the city staff.
I'll check with
secure
Target.
the necessary.
Sure.
So that is a secondary conversation independent on whether the city wants to entertain these exclusive parking zones on a major arterial.
Okay.
Yes, no, so it's like two parts to this conversation.
I guess just for the record, the tree pits are 4x6 and the sidewalk on Ballard Street is 9.5, so that would be 5 foot city standard, so that's fine. I do also, to echo what Bauer said, the neck downs on Washington Street might be very difficult. I can see them on the side, on the Ballard Street, the proposed Ballard Station Drive and Gill Street. Gill Street, you're not even putting a neck down, or it's part of a neck down. But Washington Street.
Right, well, so in their response to our commissions for persons with disabilities, they are verifying that the travel path shows 6.5 feet behind the tree pits on the new street and 7.5 feet on Washington Street. So that's what was told to us as far as what was going to happen, so we'll make sure that we're at something appropriate.
Catherine?
Yeah, I was just going to reiterate that when we reviewed the plans, we asked about the clear path of travel, and it was confirmed to us that it would be in excess of 5 feet. It would not be limited to 4.5 feet. So that is a major change to the pedestrian path of travel that we are not comfortable with. We needed for it to be a minimum of the confirmed widths that we reviewed. Thanks.
Again, I apologize for not remembering. The building that is fronting Washington Street, on the ground floor, what are you hoping to program? The activities within the building fronting Washington Street on the ground floor.
I can answer that. On Lot B, we have.
If you could point to Lot B, since I don't know.
I'll start first on the left. Lot B is a grocery store, local grocery, Harvest Co-op, and Lot A is a series of retail stores that are yet, we do not have a tenant, but are programmed for that building.
The reason I ask those questions is so that the transportation department can understand the curb usage on a major arterial that requires the need, because how far are we from Forest Hills T Station?
Close to the government.
Also, we are more close to Dudley.
Just outside Dudley.
Dudley.
We're about a quarter mile
So,
from Dudley Square.
As long as the curb configuration is consistent with the Public Works Departments to manage snow operations, plus your parking needs and your delivery needs and all of those wonderful things. Any other thoughts on whether you can
I mean, obviously, you know, we have parking on street, Washington Street, in the area. In order to make this section of Washington Street work, I mean, obviously there has to be a taking within the sidewalk area to create that parking lane. Again, with, you know, as Para's pointing out, the use of neck downs at the on Washington Street is a little bit worrisome, simply for operations and roadway continuity. We don't have any neck downs on Washington Street.
So we can still allow parallel parking. Please don't misunderstand the conversation. We want to promote parking, but parking can be achieved so that during a snow emergency, when all the cars are removed, you don't find these little pockets where a snowplow operator cannot get into. Okay? So again, that conversation can be adjusted. Amy, can all these adjustments be done after a vote, or do we need to adjust this?
Well, I mean, it's really dependent on how close they are to the pedestrian path of travels that they've provided the city with. So that's going to determine how much adjustment actually needs to happen out here. And then if they adjust their tree pits, they have to go back to the Parks Department to find out if, like, these are our standard tree pits, but if they need to shrink, I don't know if Parks is going to accept that.
Could I
think
request?
we're only talking on the ends. We're not talking on the.
Well, right, but the path of travel issue happens on all three streets, and if they have to shrink the tree pits, then it puts it up as,
I was just talking about the neck downs.
oh, yeah.
As to the, could I request clarification whether, as to the clearance, 5 feet, the city center, if that's appropriate, or if there's still an open issue whether that needs to be higher than 5 feet?
Well, right now, we're looking for what you committed to the Commissions for Persons with Disability when they asked you specifically what the path of travel is, and you gave them 6.5 and 7.5. If you can't make that, then you're gonna have to go back to them specifically to discuss why you can and where.
Understood.
Yeah, because the plans show 5 feet on Bartlett Street,
Right,
but that's
you
not.
know, yeah, we specifically asked the question and got 6.5 and 7.5 back as our answers.
So I think you're gonna have to work through that with Public Improvement Commission and the,
Understood.
so I'm gonna ask for a continuance on this one.
We could request, yeah, if
Yeah,
that would be.
I'm gonna entertain a motion to
Thank you.
continue this for 2 weeks.
I'll make a motion to continue today's public hearing under public hearings continued number 5 related to specific repairs for Washington Street, Bartlett Street, and Gill Street for 2 weeks till
July 23rd.
July 23rd, 2015.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thank you. Public hearing item number 1, on a joint petition by the Boston Redevelopment Authority and the City of Boston Public Works Department for the widening and relocation of the existing right-of-way lines of Franklin Street, Public Way, Boston proper, located on its southwesterly side, generally between Washington Street and Hawley Street. New business, June 25th, 2015, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Widening and Relocation Plan, Public Way, Boston proper, one sheet dated June 25th, 2015.
This action is for us to take our 2 alignments for Franklin Street that essentially make a Y and fill in that Y with, it's owned by the BRA. We're widening Franklin Street so that the entirety from the New Millennium Building all the way to the opposite side will be considered part of the Franklin Street right-of-way. This will allow us to take future actions on Shoppers Park as being within a street right-of-way rather than on a BRA parcel.
I know there's a lot of plans for this piece for this area. Where is the stadium type seating and the
It's going over the new MBTA head house, and part of the reason for this is because that head house is going to straddle the line between this BRA parcel and city right-of-way. It's all going to become city right-of-way. Then we're going to permit the new MBTA head house, and then we're going to permit the stadium seating on top of it.
So that's going to be on City of Boston property?
It's going to be within a public right-of-way.
All right. So we're not affecting that overall design, we're just,
Right, so we're just making the whole area street for the time being. Well,
is the city gonna be responsible for it, or is it?
no, all of this, when Shoppers Park comes, all of it will come with an agreement from the Millennium Building for the maintenance and care of Shoppers Park, and also will be granting the MBTA, it's a discontinuance for the space that its head house occupies. Then they're gonna come with the specific repairs for the seating and the rest of Shoppers Park, all which will be in an agreement with Millennium, and it'll be all theirs to maintain.
You mean the agreement which you spoke of will be between Millennium Partners and,
The city and the MBTA and the BRA.
so it will be still a four-party?
Right, we have an existing MBTA BRA city agreement that was with Filene's that we kind of need to reconfigure.
Just one question, Millennium Partners. Oh, Kathy, there you are. One question for you, Kathy. Per the TAPA, you have a transportation coordinator as
Yes.
required. Who is that person?
Right now, it's John Luciano. He's headquarters is at 40 Franklin in the sales office.
Very good. Could you have John contact us?
Yes.
Thank you.
Kathy, one more question. Where's,
Kathy, you may want to introduce yourself.
there's a crane that's gonna be located in this area. Is this gonna affect it at all?
I'm sorry, there's a crane.
Isn't there a crane gonna be located?
The crane is there today. Eventually, the crane comes down.
Is there must be,
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you.
no, I'm thinking, so it doesn't affect the crane that's there right now? Where is the crane?
No, the crane is forward of the MBTA head house right now, pretty much at the front entrance to what will be the future residence. The crane is located in what will eventually be Shoppers Park.
But it's not in this parcel?
It's not in this particular Y.
All right, that's fine.
Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the joint petition by the Boston Redevelopment Authority and the City of Boston Public Works Department for the widening and relocation of the existing right-of-way lines of Franklin Street and Boston proper, located on the southwesterly side generally between Washington Street and Holly Street, shown in the plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, a widening relocation plan dated June 25th, 2015.
All in favor? So moved. Thank you very much. Public hearing item number 2 on a petition by Crown Castle NG East LLC for a grant of location to install telecommunication infrastructure on a replacement streetlight pole within Main Street, Charlestown, located on its southwesterly side across from Hathon Square. New business, June 25th, 2015, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Grant of Location Plan, Crown Castle, Main Street at Hathon Square, Charlestown, one sheet dated June 2015. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Bob Albee with VHB, representing Crown Castle. And with me is Costa Jovanovic from Crown Castle and Richard Shepard. And on this particular issue, Richard Shepard will make a presentation.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Richard Shepard, project manager for Crown Castle. As the commission is aware, Crown Castle is currently expanding its network within the city of Boston. The expansion of that network included 12 new antennas within the neighborhood of Charlestown. On December 18, 2014, we were granted approval for all 12 of those, 2 of which we had to relocate. One's been approved already. This is the second of which, so the total doesn't change. It's still 12. The reason for the relocation was it was determined that the original location was on private property pole. This pole was selected. It's on Main Street. It's a street light pole, and we'll be replacing the pole and adding an antenna and an equipment cabinet to that pole.
know, the detail might be wrong, but it looks like it's set back about two, it looks like it's right in the middle of the sidewalk. It's set back about 2 feet from the curb line. Yeah. Is that an existing pole, or is that a new one that's being proposed?
Existing.
It's an existing pole, and the location is going to be adjacent to the existing pole. It's not set in the middle of the sidewalk. It's actually right on the curb line, maybe a foot back, and that particular plan may not show it completely accurately. We do have an accompanying underground plan that was run through PIC staff on a lateral approval process that shows exactly the location, specific that the conduit is being connected to. That's this plan here that I'm showing displayed. And I think also the detail on the current plan, I think if you show it on the bottom right-hand corner, shows the specific location, set back about 2 feet from the edge of curb.
Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition by Crown Castle NG East LLC for grant of location to install telecommunication infrastructure on a replacement street pole on Main Street in Charlestown. It's described and read into the record by the chair and is shown on the plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division. Grant of location plan, Crown Castle, Main Street at Hathorn Square in Charlestown, dated June 2015.
Second.
All in favor? So moved.
Thank you.
Public hearing item number 3, on a petition by Crown Castle NG East LLC for a granted location with lead company status and no participants to install telecommunication conduit within the following public ways in South Boston. New business, June 25th, 2015. West Broadway, generally at its intersections with A Street, B Street, and F Street. Dorchester Street, generally at its intersections with East 8th Street and Old Colony Avenue. C Street, generally between West Broadway and Athens Street. D Street, generally at its intersection with West Broadway. East 4th Street, generally at its intersection with Dorchester Street, National Street. Woodward Street, generally between Dorchester Street and Leeds Street, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Grant of Location Plan, Crown Castle, South Boston Network Expansion, multiple sheets dated July 2015. Morning again, Bob.
Good morning again. My name is Bob Albee with VHB representing Crown Castle, and with me is Kosta Jovanovic from Crown Castle. We were into this commission several months ago to show, as a briefing, to show a expansion of the network that has already been built in Boston. For 2016, it included some locations in South Boston, 42 to be exact. Since then, Mark Cottarelli, from your paving division, has come up with his paving program, and we are in conflict with that at 9 locations. So we were asked to rush these through as fast as we could and stay ahead of Mark. We've done that. We made the presentation at the last hearing 2 weeks ago. Since then, we've been preparing for the inventory and the utility plans for submission to the Boston Water and Sewer Commission for review. Because of the fact that this is one of the heaviest vacation weeks, we were unable to get all the plans out of the utilities in a timely fashion, and now we'll be able to get them all plotted up. Where we stand today is that we do not have the plans ready for review. We have the inventory done, the base plan done, the running line is being done right now as we speak. And it's my anticipation, I anticipate having these plans put together and submitted to the Boston Water and Sewer by next Wednesday. That's about the earliest I can get it into them. Mark has indicated that he wants to start work in Southie immediately. I think he's already out there working. We have a contractor ready to go to work, and he can be picking up permits the first of the week. We would like to proceed with this work owing to the fact that It's very minor work, 2 4-inch conduits for an average of 50-foot runs in the 9 location. One run goes a little bit over 108 feet. And we will submit the plans to Boston Water and Sewer and have them approved in parallel with construction if that's possible. So even though we haven't met the requirement to have our plans stamped by Sewer and Water before we start construction, would like to ask to have that waived and let us start as soon as possible.
Yeah, the only thing we would submit it to the Public Improvement Commission.
So we have the plans as they, or like, you know, we know where they are and what they're doing, but we approved the official Boston Water and Sewer stamped and signed plans, which is what we're waiting on. So as soon as they come out of Boston Water and Sewer, those are the plans that we use as the PIC ones.
So we're going to have a detail to show that it's a city shadow. There's nothing here. I'm personally not going to vote for something that I don't even see. I don't even have a preliminary sketch, nothing.
Can we approve this based on, contingent on the Boston Water and Sewer stamp and sign of them? Because at this juncture, it's more that it's the 2 weeks is going to put them behind our paving.
But that would, we would also need approval from Public Improvement Commission to make sure that it's a city shadow.
Which is fine, because all of these are small enough that they could qualify as laterals.
I mean, yeah, I have no problem today with voting this, but I still think we should wait to start construction until the plans are in here and they're approved.
That's fine. So Boston Water and Sewer will sign them, they'll come to us, we'll sign them, and then they can go pull permits.
Correct.
Yeah, I spoke to Kevin Linsky this morning. They anticipate repairs on, or resurfacing West Broadway August 3rd, so obviously we're up against the clock here, so contingent upon the plans being approved by Boston Water and Sewer, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition by Crown Castle NG East LLC for grant of location, lead company status, and no participants to install telecommunication conduit within various streets in South Boston. It's described and read into the record by the chair and is shown on the set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division grant of location plan for Crown Castle, the South Boston Network expansion. The sheets are dated July 2015.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you very much.
Public hearing item number 4 on a petition by Crown Castle NG East LLC for a grant of location to install telecommunication infrastructure on replacement streetlight poles within the following public ways in South Boston. New business, June 25th, 2015. West Broadway, generally at its intersections with A Street, B Street, and F Street. Dorchester Street, generally at its intersections with East 8th Street and Old Colony Avenue. C Street, generally between West Broadway and Athens Street. D Street, generally at its intersection with West Broadway, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Grant of Location Plan, Crown Castle, South Boston Network Expansion, multiple sheets dated July 2015.
Great. This is the companion project to what we just talked about. We're putting these are the replacement city-owned poles that we're putting the equipment on. 6 of them at these locations. 7, sorry. 7.
How many of those are on West Broadway and Dorchester Street?
1, 2, 3. In Dorchester Street. Total of 5 between the 2 streets?
Okay. Yeah, that's generally the resurfacing work that we're coordinating, so. Again, is this the same situation with public hearing item number 3? We're trying to get ahead of ourselves?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
These don't need plan approval, Rob, right? These are
Right.
These are
Okay.
just light
These are
poles,
just,
right?
yeah, okay.
These are all set, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the petition by Crown Castle NG East LLC for the grant of location to install telecommunication infrastructure on replacement streetlight poles within the following streetways in South Boston, as read into the record by the chair, and as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, grant a location plan, Crown Castle, South Boston Network expansion, multiple sheets dated July 2015.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Public hearing item number 5 on a petition by Crown Castle NG East LLC for a grant of location to install telecommunication infrastructure on replacement utility poles within the following public ways in South Boston. New business, June 25th, 2015. East 4th Street, generally at its intersection with Dorchester Street, National Street. Woodward Street, generally between Dorchester Street and Leeds Street, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Grant of Location Plan, Crown Castle, South Boston Network Expansion, multiple sheets dated July 2015.
And again, this is the this is the companion work to the ones we voted before. In this case, we're attaching to existing wood utility poles. I know the petition indicates here replacement utility. It's not, it's existing. Typo.
Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? Again, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition by Crown Castle NG East LLC for grant of location to include telecommunication infrastructure on existing utility poles on East 4th Street, Woodward Street, South Boston, as described and read into the record by the chair, and is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, a grant of location plan by Crown Castle, the South Boston Network expansion. The sheets are dated July 2015.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Public hearing item number 6 on a petition by Spice Lofts LLC for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in South Boston, consisting of curb realignment, new and relocated streetlights, hydrants, and driveway curb cuts, as well as roadway and sidewalk reconstruction. New business, June 25th, 2015. West 2nd Street on its southwesterly side, generally northwest of B Street. Bolton Street on both sides, generally northwest of B Street, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Specific Repair Plan, West 2nd Street, South Boston, one sheet dated April 20, 2015. Good morning.
Good morning, board members. For the record, my name is Steve DeRoche, Neponset Valley Survey Associates, with our offices are at 95 White Street in the city of Quincy. I'm here this morning representing my client, Mr. Colin Shea, with this specific repair plan, seeking to do a minor modification, we believe a minor modification, to Bolton Street, which is the installation of additional curbing and paving. This will allow our client to develop the parcel of land behind number 141 West 2nd Street into an 8-car parking lot. And this area in Bolton Street will serve as the egress for the parcel. The last time we were here a couple of weeks ago, we were told that we had shown a stop sign at Bolton and B Street, and we were told that we couldn't put that stop sign in without a warrant. We have since removed that from the plan. I'm sure the board may have some questions, but one of the items I would like to have the board consider, if they would, is a calming effect of the traffic of cars coming out of Bolton Street onto B Street, and possibly by putting in a speed bump in that location. Whether it's allowed or not, I'm not sure, but again, it's just a calming item.
I think at the last hearing, I thought we gave a solution to that. The warrant analysis wasn't going to be done, that you have a key card gate to limit access to unwarranted vehicles making those trips at the communities. The community raised that as an issue. That was one of the solutions that we...
Yeah, and we are all for that, Mr. Hesford. That's coming into the lot, but what we're thinking about is leaving the lot on Bolton Street onto B Street, and there's pedestrian traffic on B Street. We just want to make sure the cars just don't come out of B Street onto Bolton Street without slowing or stopping for any pedestrian traffic that may be on B Street.
Let me just amplify what Mr. Hesford said, if it is okay with you. The amount of traffic that is generated by just your property is not going to incrementally warrant the need for a speed bump on a city street entering another street. However, your concern was, or the community's concern was, cut-through traffic going through your property. That would increase the total volume of traffic coming off Bolton Street, to which Mr. Hesford suggested that you control the cut-through traffic at the access point through a key card.
Yeah, we are going to implement that. And that was a suggestion that I brought forward to my client, and he said he doesn't have a problem with that at all. I don't know how that gets written into the record or whatever, but again, he's all for that.
It should be annotated on the plan that it's going to be
Okay,
controlled.
we can certainly do that.
Amy, since the specific repairs are for both West 2nd Street and Bolton Street, but the plans just call for West 2nd Street, we need another set of plans for Bolton
No,
Street?
we just
or-
need that to say Bolton Street.
So, thank you, just this.
Any members of the audience have any questions? Okay, notes being made to the plans, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition by Spice Lofts LLC for making specific repairs on West 2nd Street and Bolton Street, South Boston, as described and read into the record by the chair. As shown on the plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, specific repair plan for West 2nd Street in South Boston, dated April 20th, 2015, with caveat that there be some minor changes to the plan as required by the PIC.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you, Mr. DeRosa.
Thank you very much, folks.
Next item, we have an informational discussion presentation by Verizon Wireless regarding a citywide proposed small cell antenna installation.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Michael Jaima, Robinson and Cole from Verizon Wireless, with Maureen Hopkins from Tilson, who's the lead on this project, and I've got Nick Scarfo, John Fornagle, and Sean Conway from Verizon Wireless here as well. We do have some handouts. We had a slide presentation, but the paper copies are available. Can we approach and
Sure, yeah.
provide those to you? Thanks.
Thank you.
The reason we came in front of you was just to introduce you to the Verizon Wireless proposal and to field any questions or suggestions you had for us on this. I'm going to let Maureen go through the handout and explain what the purpose of the design would be.
It will help you to understand the corporate structure between Verizon Wireless and traditional Verizon that petitions us.
Verizon Wireless is ultimately a wholly owned subsidiary of Verizon Corporate, but it's the wireless arm. It's the arm that operates the cellular network and owns the facilities.
Good morning. My name is Maureen Hopkins. I am with Tilson Technology Management, and I'm the lead on this project. I'm assuming that you're fairly familiar with small cells, since you just have heard some petitions by Crown Castle. The small cells that Verizon Wireless is going to be proposing to the city are specific to Verizon Wireless's network and are used to fill in gaps in coverage that are created by sector exhaust and mostly by people who are using a lot of data in any one particular location. What Verizon is finding is that you may have a location where there is good cellular coverage, but where you have a lot of people navigating with their GPSs, taking photographs and uploading them, you run into data capacity issues. The small cells that Verizon is proposing are on similar infrastructure to what you just heard, on wooden utility poles in replacement streetlights, which can be designed to match the existing infrastructure. They would be, in many cases, stealthed to match what is already there. Streetlights can be custom fabricated to enclose the equipment and to match the existing infrastructure, and also in some cases traffic stanchions if the space is available. So Verizon would be proposing a number of these initially, and then small batches as they identify other areas where there are network capacity needs.
And so that's, the purpose is we are working with the city on a agreement to move these forward. We understand that each individual site would be approved by your commission, and in order to take the first step of having the arrangements with the city on a general basis, we want to come before you and just get your input as to the program and what you would expect to see when we came back to you for individual approvals.
These guys have been working with Chung and Mike Lynch about getting their agreement with the city as a whole together, and at this point, they would need to start working with transportation and street lighting to discuss which poles they're looking at and the feasibility of swapping them out.
We're looking at the downtown neighborhood as one of the focal points, or the majority of them? Or is this something that would reach out to the...
There are various parts of the city. It's really where the need is and where there's not a different alternative for providing service, an existing tower or building site. Verizon Wireless has a number of installations already on buildings in the city, obviously, but as the data load increases, they need to get these sites closer together and lower in order to make the network function appropriately. We do have some technical people here who might be able to answer in terms of the scope of the program, but initially it would be on the order of a dozen or so sites, and then over time it would be expanded as the demand warranted.
The totality of your effort is summarized in the last page of your proposal.
Yes.
I think there are 3 bullets. You are attaching to existing city-owned infrastructure within the public right-of-way. That is 1. So if you can let us know the size of the attachments that you are attaching. Is it consistent with what the Commission has seen over the last years, or is it a deviation from the understandings which we have had with other petitioners?
I'm not sure what you've seen previously. Generally speaking, and John, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the antennas are canister shaped and approximately 24 inches tall.
So there will be a point in time where you can share that information with us, with the Commission members, before we as a Commission see for the first time when you are petitioning us, unless you have shown it in this document. With
Yes, some of these slides in the middle of the document do show examples of what we're looking at.
shows how when I read the
We gave
middle
this
stuff.
at the last minute, so.
So replacing existing infrastructure, we are sort of used to it because you need to replace existing. But your third bullet, placing new infrastructure, can you amplify that thought pattern as to what you mean by new infrastructure?
If there was a location, for example, where there was not a pole in particular to go on, or a light to go on, we could propose a pole or a light or a stealth facility that would not, would fit into the landscape and would contain the communications equipment and have the potential to contain others.
So in an attempt, it meets the minimum height requirement. So it will be a pole of some sort. So you will work with city agencies to identify what that pole might be in the context of the location.
Yes, yeah, we're not talking about a traditional cell tower of 100 feet tall or anything. We're talking about these utility pole scale or streetlight scale.
The city will have a concern if it is installed in Beacon Hill Back Bay.
We understand that. We're prepared to work with that, yes.
Now, to support this infrastructure, because we've had this issue with other petitioners, to support your expanded infrastructure, eventually, will you need to dig up the city streets to add supportive infrastructure, i.e. communication cables or conduits to support this growth? Will you have that need, or is it too early for you to answer that?
It depends on where the location is and what's available in the street now. Maureen, you may have more details about how that's been done other places, but essentially we will need fiber, and if there's not fiber in the street, we would need to install it or make arrangements to have it installed.
So this program
with the city
has the possibility of you needing to cut our city streets to install
Each instance almost always shows up with a short lateral at the minimum.
Yeah, right, that's true too, yes, to get to the street.
As a company, Verizon owns a lot of the utility poles. What's your, what are you doing if you're attaching to your own pole now? Are you still coming in front of the city?
Well, we would have to make a deal on our own pole, and to the extent we were, as I understand it, to the extent we were occupying additional space within the city right of way, we would need to come to you anyway, or doing a new cut.
You grant your location to include fiber
Yeah,
optic.
so for, regardless of who it is, we require first a letter from the pole owner with their agreement, and then they come here for PIC approval.
Right, I know a lot of the times when I don't know if you're proposing to go in our landmark districts, but what we're asking companies to do is go to landmarks and let them see what type of attachments you're making to the pole so they can.
And they're all very familiar and have their own standards for exactly what they want this to look like.
And we would certainly do that to go to landmarks if we were proposing the installation in those districts.
All right. I saw some of the black poles with black apparatus, which was this way. So,
The Back Bay Architectural Commission would love that. Yeah. Well, thank you for your presentation. And I ask that you work closely in coordination with Chung and Amy and PIC as well as Mike Lynch and his team. And we look forward to seeing you at a Public Improvement Commission.
Great.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
All in favor?
Aye.